Hi guys, and welcome to today's tutorial. In today's lesson we're going to finish off this chapter in Unit 1 and we're going to look at resolving workplace conflicts. The first thing we're going to look at is the Employment Equality Act 1998, and this basically is to do with discrimination. Okay, so basically discrimination is not allowed, and discrimination is basically just treating one person less favourably than another person is treated. Okay, so the employment, so I'll just say, protects employees from discrimination. And this is what this act does. It protects employees from discrimination. And discrimination is outlawed under 9 specific grounds. And these are the following. So the first one is gender. So you can't discriminate against someone's gender. Second one is race. The third one is marital status. The fourth one is against someone's sexual orientation. The fifth one is against somebody from having if they have a disability. The sixth one is discriminating somebody against because they're a member of the travelling community. The seventh one is because of their family status. The eighth one is because of their religious beliefs. And the last one, the ninth one, is age. So you can't discriminate against somebody because of their age. One thing to note with this Employment Equality Act 1998 is that all full-time, part-time employees and people who are actually applying for a job, so applicants that are applying for employment and training, are covered by this act. Another thing as well, if it's any harassment, sexual harassment or any bullying in the workplace, this is outlawed by this act as well. And the act also is set up by the Equality Authority, which we're going to look at now. Okay, so there's a few different things that the Equality Authority do. And the first one is that they eliminate discrimination. In employment, the second thing that they do is that they promote equality and opportunity for all. So they promote equality. An opportunity for everyone. Sorry. The third thing that they do is that they inform the public on equality issues. So inform public on any equality issues. The fourth thing that they do is they monitor operations of equal status legislation. So I'd say that they monitor the operation of all equal status legislation. And the last thing is they assist in bringing complaints under the Employment Equality Act. So they assist with complaints. Okay, so next thing we're going to look at is the Director of Equality Investigations. And under the Employment Equality Act 1998, if complaints are made, they're made to this person, the Director of Equality Investigations. And the Director of Equality Investigations may deal with complaints in one of two ways. The first way that he or she may deal with the complaint is to refer the case to the Equality Officer. So he or she can refer the case to the equality officer. And the second way they can deal with the complaint is to refer the case to the equality mediator. So you might be wondering, what's the difference between the equality officer and the equality mediator? Well, the equality officer is the legal route, and this is where decision is binding, but it can be appealed in the labour court. Where the equality mediator basically goes to both parties and they try to reach an agreement in a voluntary basis, without having to impose like a ruling or having a binding decision made. Just one thing to note, this is a common question that comes up in the Leaving Cert business exam, is the role of the Director of Equality Investigations. So just know that what their role is and the two ways that they can deal with complaints. The next thing we're going to look at is the Labour Relations Commission, and this is under the Act of the Industrial Relations Act 1990, and its purpose of the Labour Relations Commission is to promote and develop and to try and improve Irish industrial relations. And they basically look at the policies, the procedures and the practices and try to fix them and make them better and improve them. So we're going to look at the main functions of the Labour Relations Commission. So one of the functions is to improve industrial relations climate. So that'll be the Climate Trade Ireland. Second function is it's like an advisory service. So it provides industrial relations advice to both employees and employers. The Labour Relations Commission provides a conciliation service. So conciliation service. The Labour Relations Commission, another one of their functions is to appoint a rights commissioner. So appoint rights commissioner. Fifth function of the Labour Relations Commission is to develop the codes of practice. So codes of practice. The sixth function is to do research and publish information. So publish information. The seventh function of the LRC is to assist the JLC, which is the Joint Labour Committees, and the JIC, which is the Joint Industrial Councils. And the last function is that they provide an arbitration service. So that's all the functions of the LRC, and the common question in the Leaving Cert business exam is to give the functions of the Labour Relations Commission. So it's important you know all those functions. And another thing is you need to know is how the LRC resolves disputes. Okay, so the first way that the LRC resolves disputes is that it might appoint an industrial relations officer. So appoint industrial relations officer. And what they will do is they will provide a conciliation service. So that will then provide a conciliation service. Conciliation service is when an independent officer will meet with both parties, and they maybe give like a solution to what they think is best, and a fair way to deal with the dispute. If that doesn't work, or maybe the LRC might decide not to go down that method, they might just decide to appoint a rights commissioner. So they might go straight just to appointing a rights commissioner. And what the rights commissioner will do is they will investigate the dispute, and then they will make a recommendation on what they think is best to do. And it's not legally binding, but it can be appealed in the Labour Court, which would be a legally binding decision then. So this is like an arbitration service. Okay, so this is how the Labour Relations Commission solves disputes. It appoints an industrial relations officer, and they will basically will listen to both parties and then try to come up with a fair way to fair solution to resolve the dispute. Or the LRC might go straight to appointing a rights commissioner, and they will basically then investigate the dispute, and they will make a recommendation. However, it's not legally binding. However, it can be appealed, which will then go to the Labour Court, and the decision in the Labour Court will be legally binding. And this is an arbitration service. The last thing you need to know is the Labour Court, and this is the court of last resort, and it's basically to solve industrial disputes. And there's a few reasons why disputes may be referred to the court, and they are because maybe the Labour Relations Commission can't resolve the dispute. Maybe the decision of the Rights Commissioner is appealed, because remember, the decision of the Rights Commissioner is not legally binding, so it can be appealed, and then it goes to the Labour Court. The decision of the Equality Officer is appealed, or maybe because of exceptional circumstances require to go straight to the last resort and go straight to the Labour Court. Okay, for your Leaving Cert business exam, you need to know the functions of the Labour Court, and these functions do tend to come up quite frequently on the business exam. So the first function is to investigate and settle disputes. So basically, whatever decision that they come up with, it's legally binding, so it will settle the disputes. The second function is to decide on appeals against the Rights Commission. So to decide on appeals. So we can say decide on appeals against decisions of the Rights Commissioner. And to decide on the appeals against the Equality Officer. Because if the Equality Officer decision is appealed, it will go to the Labour Court. Officers. Okay, the third function is to set up the Joint Labour Committee. So you set up the Joint Labour Committees. Fourth function of the Labour Court is to investigate breaches of the Code of Practices. So investigate breaches of Code of Practices. Fifth function is to register employment agreements. So registers employment agreements. Registered agreements that are negotiated between the employers and employees, so whatever they decide, and they register this, and then because it's in the Labour Court, this makes it legally bindable. Okay, so that's it for the Labour court. Just remember that whatever decision is made in the Labour court, it's final and it's legally binding. So it's the final. So it's the final place that it's the place we go for the last resort. But like most times, it won't go to the Labour court because it'll be solved before that. Okay, so that's it for today's tutorial on resolving workplace conflicts, and that's everything for Unit 2 in terms of like a quick little summary. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, you can leave me some feedback, and remember to check out our website examvision.ie to find more videos on the different chapters and different units. Thanks guys.